let's push on from there. There is one last topic I'd like to talk about before we move on to this week's box office, and it's the movie The Interview, and it's Seth Rogen and James Franco, and it created an international flap this week where the premise of the movie is that James Franco plays this sort of like Stone Phillips type talk show guy. And Rogen is his producer, and they get a chance to go interview Kim Jong-un, the dictator of North Korea, who turns out to be a huge fan of Franco's character, but the CIA has tasked them with killing him, the leader of North Korea.
What could go wrong?
North Korea, not too happy about this.
What I love is that our question truly is, will James Franco bring on the end of the world?
Well, Seth Rogen, is it really this is the end, thanks to Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen and James Franco.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I don't think it's going to be that bad, but it is a very interesting thing, like, actually, I actually thought this about Team America, too.
But that's what I was going to say. Like, come on, man. We've already been joking around in Team America. You remember?
That was his dad.
That was his dad, I know. His dad's dead now. I know that. I know it was his dad. I'm aware of current politics.
Was there part of it, though? Is there a strange sort of vanity to this, though, where it's like, as insulted as they are, they're like, hey, I'm in a Hollywood movie.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like, yes, I know it was his dad, but still, that was the leader at that time. And not a huge chuckled bung.
Yeah, even more of a saber rattler.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
So
maybe it was because it was
not a lot known about Kim Jong-il, really, but we do know that he was a big fan of film, and I would assume that he maybe passed that on to his son, and so maybe it stings a little bit more if you're like a big fan of film, and then this whole film is dedicated to like
wanting to kill you.
Down,
maybe it's that, but maybe actually more to the point is that here. Actually, this is the difference between those two films. One was stop motion, and one is live action puppetry, and one is live action. But the other thing is, it's illegal to even make a joke about killing the president here. Like, you can't even joke about that. That's like
it's a federal offense.
It's a federal offense. So maybe the idea is that because the whole movie is about wanting to kill him, that is.
But also,
I don't know why that didn't connect to me earlier.
It wouldn't actually be cool if North Korea made this movie about Obama. It wouldn't be cool. We would also be very enraged
upset
by it.
Well, but here's the thing. Does this, and this I guess talks to a larger issue, what sort of responsibilities do artists have when it comes to, like, you are playing on the world stage, you can have an effect on events. I mean, we deal with it all the time of, like, did movies make somebody go and shoot a bunch of people? Like, we deal, like, this is, all kidding aside, I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of phone calls in D.C. this week, not like they need another headache down there, but it's like, at a certain point, I hate to say this because my answer is they shouldn't, but should artists be a little more choosy about the kind of things that they do? No.
I don't think that's...
I would hate to live in a country where you couldn't do that.
I think that's America, I think that's what we're allowed to do here, and I think,
Except if it's about our president. You couldn't make that movie.
You have to. You do have to have some responsibility, I think, for your art, but...
Blowback about, remember that movie was a couple of years ago, Death of a President, where it was it was a faux documentary about the killing of George W. Bush while he was president.
Yeah, and which is again not...
And there was a huge outcry about that.
And that's the thing is, like, Chris, to your point, like, we would have a huge outcry if there was a movie about killing any president. And so I do understand the outcry, and I think it makes a lot of sense. At the same time, should Seth Rogen not make his movie? No, like, we can't be in that world where he can't make his movie.
Seth Rogen did. Well, I think put it well.
Not just Seth Rogen.
Where he said, usually people don't want to kill me until they've paid $12 to see my movie, So.
Well, you guys remember when there was South Park has had so many threats against that Viacom building in New York. I mean, but it's tough because, like, would you choose to do something that offensive? Probably not. But to say that somebody cannot, I just don't think that we can.
Well, I mean, it's also, it really, I think it depends too on where you go with it. I think, I'm not trying to be incendiary, but, we live in a world where Muslim comedians or artists that do things about Islam are getting killed.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, you have to, I think there is a
Well, Salman Rushdie had
was that ever removed, or did
no,
he still
no,
have a fatwa
he
against
still
him?
has a, I think, pretty sure he still has a fatwa
Big
against
old
him.
Fat fatwa.
I mean,
all
so
over that guy.
that's not totally new.
So it's it's kind of, it is one of those things where it strikes at the heart of, the responsibilities of artists versus kind of larger issues. We're not going to solve it here, but I just think it's
keeping it real.
We're not going to keep it that real.
I don't think you take people's right away to do that, but I would say as an artist, you have a responsibility to, not go too far. I personally think that if I were an artist, I would not want to go that far.
I think any human being has a responsibility to think about what they're putting out there to the best of their ability.
Yeah, you can't always hide behind the A word of art. You could have, I don't know. I mean, look, it's a very complicated conversation, but to circle back about that George Bush movie that was made. There was obviously at that point, that movie came out at the height of very, very deep, bitter partisan feelings in this country. And, I was
Thankfully, those don't exist anymore.
Exactly. We've moved past that. It's all dandelions and unicorns now. But, as somebody who was not happy with the president at that time, I got to say that movie upset me because I didn't think it was... there's some
appropriate in any way.
Well, it's kind of like there comes a point where it's like, is this some sort of weird wish fulfillment movie for
yeah,
you?
I think
what I mean?
I think even this is on a much smaller scale. We work obviously in the internet, and so people put a lot of things on the internet that I wouldn't do, and I don't think you should. But even speaking in terms of partisanship, when I'm on my Facebook page and I see this, even if it's somebody that I agree with politically, and they're saying the things that I agree with, if it's so full of vitriol and hatred towards what they perceive to be the other, whether it's the other side of the aisle or whatever it is, I immediately just mute that person. I just don't want to see that. So I do think whatever you're putting out there, you are responsible for. And
there's no takebacks anymore.
Are you polluting the world? Are you adding to it or not? And I mean, this is a dumb comedy. We assume that it's this dumb comedy.
It looks funny. I want to see it, but still, I'm like, when you step back and you look at it from the point of view of North Korea, you're like, yeah, all right, well, nobody needs to get shot over this.